Yes, okay. So it looks good. So I'm just having a quick look at your profile. The first thing that stands out is that you don't have a ton of games played this season, right? And yeah, okay. And you're also playing a lot of different champions. And if I go into your history for like, looks like you used to be a jungler. Yeah, and you have a decent amount of games played. If I go back in previous seasons here. So but you just completely switched to mid then. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I see you have some jungle games, you have some mid game, you have a lot of mid games, and then you have a few AD carry games. So why do you have both jungle and AD carry? What is your queue? Mm-hmm. Right. That's Fizz. He's a little bit of a solo carry, right? Yeah. So so you're still on a very much of a learning journey for mid lane and AD carry. And then I guess you're queuing secondary jungle or something like that. So you're queuing like sometimes you queue mid jungle, and sometimes you queue AD carry jungle or something like that. Okay, yeah, okay, I understand. Okay, that's fine. So you are a mid lane main, and that's what you're going for. Um, yeah. So you're not completely new to the game, right? So I, yeah. Yeah. So if you're new to the game, I think it's fine to like try a lot of different champions and feel out what you like. But when you're like trying to like establish yourself and especially learning a specific role and like trying to climb, I think it's really important to stick to like one or two champions as much as you can. Um, and what some other coaches have said as well is that you can switch out one of the champions. So let's say we play Fizz and Hwei, and then we get sick of Fizz because we don't want to be the solo carry anymore. Then we can, after we played a bunch with Fizz, we can swap Fizz out for another champion or something like that. But that we have like a very few champions that we stick to and we learn really well, especially when we're learning a role like mid lane, because otherwise there's too many different things we're learning at once, right? We're learning the champion, we're learning how to play mid lane, we're learning macro, and it's just we want to minimize the things we're learning to make the learning journey smoother and more consistent. Does that make sense? Yeah. Um, so you like Wei and you like Fizz, I guess. And what about Lux? Okay, okay. It's just a normal game. It's just a normal game. Okay, I see. Let me just filter by ranked. Okay, yeah. Okay. So which one do you like more, Fizz or Wei? Sure. Mm-hmm. You know, someone who can both one shot and is a lot like Hwei is Lux. You know, and Lux is also a fairly simple champ. That's true. That's true. But generally, it's not your job as a mid laner to kill tanks. Sometimes it is, but usually you have someone else who can do it. And also tanks are kind of rare. So in this game, you have here there's a tank, a Mumu, probably a tank, but you have a good DPS 80 carry. So it's actually more Sire's job to kill the Mumu than it's your job. And your job is more like zone control when you're playing Hwei. So I understand the logic that, like, okay, there's a scaling champion. I want to pick an assassin so I can shut them down. Or there's a tank, so I need someone who can do a lot of DPS. But at when we're playing in Iron and Bronze and stuff like that, it's not really that big of a difference. What really determines games is like how many mistakes people make. Because someone is gonna walk up at the wrong time, even if it's a Mumu, he's gonna walk into 3 people and he's gonna die, right? Um, Sure, but that's normal. That's normal. But we'll get into that. Um, I just want to emphasize that, like, trying to pick the best champion for the game is not really important. And I think a lot of coaches would say it's not important until you read at least Masters. So it's not important in Iron, Bronze, Silver, Gold, Platinum, etc. It's more about who makes the most mistakes and who's better at their champions. Does that make sense? So I think if you're willing to it, I think you should just stick to Hwei or Fizz or something, and just stick to it. Yeah, Lux would be even better because she's simple and you can learn her fairly quickly. And then once you learn Lux, you can focus. Your brain can focus on learning other things, like learning how to do wave management in mid lane and stuff like that, and then learning macro and stuff. But if you keep changing champions, yeah. Okay, yeah. And if you get sick of Lux after like 20 games or something, you can switch to a different champion. Um, so what I would like you to do then is pick Lux, but if Lux gets banned or picked, then you play Hwei instead, okay? Because Lux and Hwei are kind of similar in a little bit, right? But Fizz is very different. So Fizz is an assassin, and that's a completely different skill set you need to learn to play an assassin. So learning to play like a control mage like Lux and Hwei, it's gonna be the skills you learn are gonna be better transferred between them. Okay, so we'll look at we'll close your Fizz game and then we'll look at your Hwei game. So yes, so the most important thing for you is gonna be mastering your champion. So mastering Lux. So getting as many games as you can on Lux until you like feel really comfortable with her skills and stuff like that. Yeah. So let's have a look here. Mute this. And we are against Lux, so we can talk about Lux a little bit as well here. So that's good. Yes. So you're buying a tier here. That is an option, but it is kind of like a little bit greedy because it doesn't give any HP and it doesn't give any mana regeneration. So I think starting with Doran's every game is a really good idea. Because if you get ganked or something, or Lux hits you with all her spells, that extra HP from a Doran's is really gonna make a big difference. And the Doran's ring is actually, it's worth 700 gold, while this is only worth 400 gold, or even less in the beginning. So if the enemy buys the Doran's ring and you don't, then you're kind of at a disadvantage from the start. Does that make sense? Okay. Yeah, sure. I understand. So let's have a look at these. So this one gives you 240 mana, and then let's say before you recall, it's gonna give you some extra mana. So let's say over time, it's gonna give you 100 extra mana. So 110 extra mana, let's say. So the Tea of the Goddess is gonna give us 350 mana, right? But the Doran's Ring here, it gives us 1 mana every second, and then when we hit an enemy, it increases to 2 mana for 5 seconds, okay? So 1 mana every second, that's like 60 per second, 60 per minute, and then we can plus, let's say, 15 from the 2 mana we have sometimes. And then we're gonna stay in lane typically 5 minutes. So that's 375 mana this item gives us. Does that make sense? Yeah. So this one, you know, the Doran's Ring actually gives you more mana. And it gives you ability power and health. This is a very, very, very strong item. If you buy tier, that means that you don't have to sell the Doran's Ring later, you know, when you get more items. And then you kind of saved some gold, but that's like a greedy late game scaling thing. Doran's Ring is always the best in the early game. And it also gives you this passive here that gives you 5 extra. Oh, the tier does that as well. Never mind. So that's not a difference. But yeah, this also is really important for CS. So I would like you to start Doran's Ring every game. Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of crazy stuff going on when we are playing League of Legends. But here in the beginning of the game, we actually have a lot of consistent control over what happens. So we can actually set up a plan we're going to execute every single game, and for like the very beginning of the game. And then we can kind of like practice that and use that to build an early small advantage. So typically, what you try to do early on is to push a little bit more than the enemy. And then we can look at who pushes here. So Lux ends up pushing a little bit more than you. And so you can kind of feel here. Let's go back. Here, Lux kind of has the push, right? She has more minions. So that makes it a little bit hard for you to fight her, right? Do you feel that? Okay. Yeah, we can look at it a little bit. Like let's say you went to... let's go back here. Here. Let's say you went to fight Lux, right? Right now. These minions would help her, right? And in the early game, they actually do quite a lot of damage to a champion. So right now, you can't fight Lux, but she can fight you. Yeah. So that's like kind of one of the advantages of pushing the lane. So she killed the minions first, so she got more minions. So that gave her the push, and now she's a little bit more able to attack you, and it's harder for you to attack her. We can see how it plays out here. So she just kills the first minion here. So when you kill this minion here, the first minion of the second wave, you get level 2. And you can see here, boom, now Lux is level 2. We can't see it here, but yeah. And now you kill the first minion, so now you get level 2. And level 2 is actually really, really, really big. It's usually said that it's like worth 700, 800 gold in stats, because you get more HP, you get more magic resistance, you get more auto attack damage, and you get an extra spell, right? So if you get level 2 first and they're still level 1, you are way stronger than them. Like you are insanely strong compared to them, and you can just go fight them. So Lux, she got level 2 first here. There, now she's level 2. She can go fight you right now, and you basically will lose every time. Does that make sense? Yeah, and she has 2 spells right now. She has her, you know, her root and her AoE spell. And you only have 1 spell, so you can never fight her right now in this moment. That's another advantage of pushing, is that you get level 2 first, and potentially level 3 first. And you can use that to get really good fighting. Or trading, as we call it. So right here, you should actually be standing back. Because she's pushing, she gets level 2 first, so you need to stand back and be careful. because you don't want to fight her when she's level 2. And then once you kill this minion here, boom, now you're also level 2. Now you're in a better position. But still, she still has to push here. So it's kind of hard for you to fight her a little bit. You try a little bit. You try anyway, because she's, you know, not the best player either. But she could have fought you there a little bit more. And now the third wave arrives, which is a cannon wave. And here we get level 3 when the first 2 or 3 melees die. It's the first 2 melees die here. So boom, boom, she gets level 3 and you're level 2. That's also still a really big advantage. So again, she can fight you here because she pushed first. So especially the first 3 levels, the level up time is really important. Yeah. Yeah. So now you go fight her while you're level 2 and she's level 3. So if she hits her spells now, and even without hitting very many spells, you still lose, right? That's because her minions are defending her, and your minions are basically not defending you, and she has a level advantage. So this is a bad time for you to be fighting. So now you get level 3. Now you could fight back, except we need to CS all these minions, because she pushed them into a tower. So we need to focus on CS, but she has time to go and hit us right now. She can just spend all the time hitting us, and we have to fight the minions. Otherwise, we lose too much gold, right? And she hits you with some spells there. So all of this advantage she got was just because she pushed first. Does that make sense? So if we're the one pushing first, we can be doing this to her. It's not because Lux is the stronger champion. It's just because she pushed, basically. Also, a thing about Hwei, we don't want to get too much into Hwei specifics. But this spell you use right here, do you know when it does extra damage? Okay. Yeah. So this one does more damage if they're low HP. It's kind of like an execute effect. Yeah. So this is basically the best spell if they're low HP and like they're trying to run away and you can almost kill them. This is to like do the final kill. For most of these fights where you just want to hit Lux or hit the minions, you want to use the QQ spell. That is shorter range, but it's still long enough range that you can hit it. Like it will hit from here, the QQ, if you hit the minions. And it does more damage when they have high HP. But also just using QE and then EE is also really good for just poking damage and stuff. So now you're feeling very scared because you're low HP and she's been hitting you with a lot of spells, right? So what are you thinking here? What are you feeling? What? Okay. Yeah. I mean, generally for Lux, it's actually really important to ward because she's standing like in the middle of the lane. So if the enemy jungler comes, it takes her a long time to run back to a tower. So she's kind of in danger of a gank. But you're not really in danger when you're this close to your tower. Like if the jungler comes, you can basically just run away, right? So because she's pushing now, she's vulnerable to ganks. That's the downside of pushing, right? But in the first 3 waves, the jungler is busy farming. He's not gonna come gank. So you don't actually have to worry about ganks in the very early. Yeah. You know you can use your W to get mana, right? Yeah, WE. That gives you like the empowered auto attacks, like the circles around you. And when you hit minions, you get mana back when you have that active. So you can just WE and then hit the minions here to get mana. That's another thing Hwei can do. Okay, so you get low and then you recall. This is fine. When we get this low, like if Lux hits 1 or 2 spells, we basically die, right? So in this case, it's fine to just give up. You do still have a potion that you could use to stay, but I think it's also fine that like we recall here. So let's see what we do after we recall. Yeah. We teleport back. Okay, good. Okay, you flash out of that one. So what were you thinking here? Okay. So we flash forward, so we dodge the spell here, right? Yeah. And then we can EE and Q him. And then he's gonna go down to maybe half HP, a little bit less. Yeah. But okay. So let's say we manage to do that and he recalls. What happens next? You could do that. Yeah, you could farm the way for free. That's true. And then when we are like before level 6, we shouldn't actually go to roam anything unless it's like right in the river next to us. In the early levels, it's way more important to get like the first early items and get the first early XP. So we don't actually want to roam until later in the game, and especially when you're playing mages like Lux and Hwei, you almost don't want to roam until I've like level 10 or something like that, because you really gotta work on focus on your own farm. That's more important. Okay, so she didn't recall because she's not low enough. What do you think is in her inventory? What items do you think she has? Yeah. Yes. And you could have had Doran's ring, right? And then you could have had an extra item. So so in that case, you actually have an advantage in items, right? And you actually don't want her to recall in that situation because she's gonna buy more items, right? So we don't want her to recall. We want her to stay in the mid lane here as much as possible. So even if you flashed and you hit her and you got her to recall, that would kind of be bad for us, because then she comes back with full HP and full mana, and she would have an extra item, right? So if we have recalled first and we come back with an item, we want to try to make sure they don't recall. So let's say Lux wants to recall here. How can we stop her from doing that? Yeah. So. So how can we stop that? Yes. We clear the way fast, because then the minions will push into her tower and she can't recall, or all of these minions will die to her tower, right? And she'll lose too much gold and XP. So if we just push really hard here, she cannot recall. And do you know how Hwei best can do pushes? Yes. And if we want to save mana, we don't have to do the EE. We can just QE, QE, QE. So this is bad. It's not very much damage, and it's too much mana for that. You know, see how little damage that did to the minions here, right? 31 damage to these castles. They don't even care, right? So QE does way more damage, way more damage. It does the most damage on minions because they don't move out of it. Also, I see that you leveled up your E secondary. So if you're unsure what to, I will link you this afterwards as well. If you're unsure what to level, we can go on this website here, and this is good enough. And this right here, skill priority, will basically tell you level up Q first, then E, then W. And of course, you want to get like one point in each ability typically. So level 1, we can see Q, and then level 2, it's W, and then level 3, it's E. And then we just level up Q and Q and Q and Q every time we can. Right? Because that's our main damage spell. That's what we want to level up more. And then when we're done leveling that up, we focus on E, and then last is W. So I'll link you this website, and we can look at Lux as well, for example. And we can see Lux should actually level her E first. Like level 1, it's Q. but then the ability she levels up more when she levels up is E, actually. Because that just is easier to hit for damage, and it does more damage. So that can be kind of important. This website will also tell you, like, the best starting... Okay, so this is actually lock support, so you can click up here, we're on support. So if we click mid lane, we can scroll down, and we can see the best starting item is actually the first one here, is Thorns and 2 healing potions. And tier is, like, very few people built that. Only 11 people built that, while 29,000 people built this. So it will also say at the top here, yeah, this is the starting item you should build. This is the rune, the summoner spells that has the best win rate. Going TP is also fine, I don't mind that. And then, like, the items you should build to start with. And the runes as well. So up here, it'll basically tell you all the basic information you should think about. And then if you scroll down, you can, like, look at there's way more advanced stuff, but, like, you can see, like, all the items you should build over time and stuff, and just take the leftmost, basically. But I'll link you that afterwards. Okay, so yeah, it was just that you leveled E here, level 2, and that's not necessarily correct, because we want to focus on the damage here. Okay. So here, I mean, we have the choice of pushing, which gives us some advantages. It's easier to fight and hit locks. Or we can sit back and let her push, and that makes us more safe from ganks. What I generally want you to be thinking about is pushing more than sitting back, unless you're, like, low HP. Because it's gonna make you more, ganks more dangerous for you, but that's also gonna teach you more about how to fight the enemy and how to survive ganks. Because right now, the focus is on learning. Okay. Yeah, if no sack is there, it's kind of dangerous. So here, our jungler actually goes in. We didn't see it on the map, so we couldn't help. But that's gonna happen sometimes. Yeah. Tries a little bit too hard. Then we try to help, and it goes wrong. Yeah, it's whatever. It was kind of an unlucky. But, like, if we see, like, oh, this is gonna go wrong, like here, we know it's gonna go wrong. We just gotta run away and not try to save him, right? Because right now we don't have all our spells, and we're too low HP, so we can't really kill Lux. So if one of your allies is basically just gonna die, don't try to save them, right? Yeah, Lux has flash. Yeah. And one thing I just want to emphasize as well here, like earlier when you came back to lane, is that you use the flash here. I want you to only use flash when it's to survive and you're about to die, or to get a kill like Lux did later, right? Like, you can flash EE if Lux was really low HP and you think you can kill her, right? So flash is actually really important, and we want to save it for either not dying or for getting the kill. Otherwise, we could have actually survived here later when Lux flashed on us if we had flashed first. Okay. Yeah. So there's a lot of, like, basic stuff here for mid lane that we gotta work on. So I don't want to go in too much detail about everything. Just see what happened here. So here, she has a big wave. So you can really feel it here. When she's pushing, it's really hard to fight her, right? Yeah, it feels really bad to fight her when she has all the minions. And that's one of the advantages of pushing. But she can fight you. So we really just gotta respect her when she has to push here. And if we die, we lose the whole wave, right? And if she dies, she loses nothing. So this is like, here we're playing on defense when she has to push. And we really want to make sure we're safe and not lose HP. And just try to get the minions until we get the push. And then we can be aggressive if we have more HP, right? Yeah. And then like Hwei has so many spells, and when you're new to him, it's like hard to know which spells to use when. So that's also why Hwei is not the best for beginners, while Lux is a lot more straightforward. So if you're willing to give Lux a chance, I think that's good. Okay. So I'm just gonna skip forward a bit. I do have some good notes already. And I just want to see like how you play a little bit later in the game. So once we get to like later levels and we get a lot of points in our queue, we are able to kill the minions so fast that it's basically just like a lot of the time it just turns into like a race of who can kill the minions first. So here Lux kills the minion first, and that feels really bad for us, right? Like it's same as before. So Hwei is actually, he's better at pushing than Lux is. If you use your QE and you're not too far behind, you can push faster than she can. And she's the one who has to play safe under a tower. Lux is pretty good, but she's not as good as Hwei, actually. Yeah, here you use the QE, and you can see how much does way more damage to the minions. Yeah. Yeah. I also think Talia, her ultimate is like only for helping the side lanes and roaming around the map stuff, so that makes her a little bit more advanced to play. So I think Hwei is better than Talia for learning. But the reason you're dying so much to Diana, I mean, Hwei has one spell to defend himself with the E, right? You can fear or you can slow or whatever, or root. But Talia can also knock back. I'd say Talia's CC is actually better than Hwei's. Yeah, but it's because you have to learn how to play. It's because you have to learn how to play against assassins, and it's not so much the champion that's the problem. It's learning to play against assassins here. So here we can look a little bit. Here's Talia in a really good Korean Talia versus a really good Korean Diana. So here the Diana can't kill her because she's a ranged. Yeah, I know. But you have to. That's because you have to learn to play against assassins, and we can get into that a little bit here. And Talia is not better than Hwei at surviving Diana. Yeah, Hwei is not better than Talia to survive Diana. They both have the same problem against Diana. So let's find Lux versus Diana here, and we're just gonna we're gonna talk a little bit about how to play against assassins. And Diana is a really good example because she's a very straightforward assassin. She's not so advanced. She's not doing all this jumping around a crazy amount. She basically just jumps in. Yeah. So there is a simple plan we want to do against assassins. So I'm gonna. But it's let's say that the set you play against, he plays set every game, right? And you only play Fizz when you're against the set player. He's gonna have played against Fizz many times, right? Because he only plays set every game. So he's played against Fizz 30 times before, and you have only played against a set 5 times before. That experience of just having played against it that many times is going to be a huge advantage, way more than the champion. But on the other hand, if you play Lux every game, and you played against set 30 times, but the set only picks set against Lux, then he's only played it like 3 times before. So even though he might have the slightly stronger champion, the fact that you have way more experience is going to be way better for you. So just playing 1 or 2 champions, preferably only 1 while you're in Iron, is really going to give you a lot of experience against different champions. And there's no champion that's so strong that you can't win. You can win against any champion if you're just like learning what you need to learn to play against them. So playing against assassins is like a very specific thing, or basically any melee, but especially assassins. When you're a ranged mage versus an assassin, there's like a specific way you have to play it, especially in the early game. So what the plan is when we're playing against an assassin as a mage or a ranged character is we want to push levels 1 and 2, and then play safe when they get level 3. That's basically and while we're pushing and try to get their HP low. So a melee champion, even Diana, who has her long range spell, they're actually a lot weaker than a ranged champion in the early levels here. So Lux is actually going to play very aggressive. So this is not... And me too, honestly. Me too, but you can still win even if you can't dodge it. So here, Lux is trying to push, right? She's trying to get the push. Because she has the advantage early. Ranged characters always have the advantage on melee characters level 1. Because you can auto-attack her and she basically can't auto-attack you. So these matchups is not playing out right as I expected. Yeah. So why do you think that Diana went in here? Why did Diana go in here? Right, but also because she got level 2. So that's when she can actually level up her jump. Before that, she doesn't have her jump. So if Lux had was level 2 and Diana was level 1, she can't jump on her. So let's just see how this plays out. They can... Let's have a look. Let's have a look what happens. Diana needs to kill this cannon, right? Because it's getting low HP. And then that's when Lux hits her spell. Because she can try to hit Diana while Diana's busy on hitting the minion. Now Lux needs to hit the cannon. And this is a chance for Diana to do something. But she already used her Q, so he couldn't. And now Diana has to push. So we're just playing really, really safe here. Yeah. But this is not going to last forever. This is not going to last forever. We'll see. But it's not that simple, right? So now Diana lost the push, and now it's even wave state. And we have, because this is a cannon minion here, we can actually recall. We don't choose to, because it looks like the reason we stay here is because Diana looks like she went towards bot lane, or she went to kill the jungler or whatever. And when she's doing that, we need to punish her by pushing. Right? When the enemy laner leaves the lane, we want to punish her by pushing. Oh, but she came back. Now we just want to play a little bit safe. And now she used all her spells, so now we can hit her back. Right? So we lost a good amount of HP. We have And it looks like maybe Diana left to recall or something. Yeah, we see her recalling. And if she's recalling, we can get a free push and crash. Right? So Lux saw her recall, and that made her stay instead of recalling. So then we get a free crash. And we come back to base, and we had more money to spend than Diana. So we buy. Yeah, we get a... Yeah, she has to push. And you're kind of taking turns having the push usually. Let's see what happens. So now, because Diana pushed, she can roam, she can go bot lane, she can go top lane. And that can be scary. What we want to do in that case, if we think she's going somewhere, is to, you know, danger ping their lane. And now, what should Lux do here? Okay, but look at the bot lane here. If you look at the minimap, are they in danger? But they're all the way back in base. They just went back in base, so they're not actually in danger right now. They might be in danger in like 30 seconds, but not right now. So we don't have to danger ping anything. You could go ward right now, but it is kind of risky because she could be standing in a bush, and the jungler could also be standing in a bush, right? So we actually don't want to ward right now. We want to wait until we see them, and then we can go ward. So what we want to do, either Diana's going to come to us and we want to play a little bit safe so she can't jump on us, or she's away, maybe looking in a bush bot lane or something, or maybe she's in base, and then we want to push. And it looks like we're kind of waiting a little bit. We see, okay, she's not here. Then we push. So the way to punish them going to bot lane, etc., is to push, so they lose the minions on the tower. Yeah. And then Diana has to come back mid here. Don't know what she's doing. Okay, here she... This is Echo, the jungler, coming. We're just gonna be a little bit scared while that's happening, but Diana's still not here, so we still want to push. So she just lost the whole wave. And now she's here, and now we want to be scared. We want to try and get this cannon if we can, but otherwise, want to just respect. So yeah, we just run away. She used her... Let's just see how this works. Okay, yeah. So, do you know how Diana... Okay. So Diana didn't hit the Q, so she hits the Q, it's the jump on the minions. And you can see here, now, when she hits the Q on someone... Let's see here. Boom. She hits the minions here, and they get this light. You see this moonlight? If she jumps to a character with moonlight, she can jump again. No, the E again. The E is to jump. The Q is the damage spell. So she used the Q on the minions. That gives them the moonlight, and then she can jump on them, and now she can jump again. So she uses that second jump to jump on Lux. But because Lux did not have the moonlight on her, now she cannot jump again. She used her jump. So Lux can basically just run away. And Diana doesn't have any slows. She doesn't have any stuns. So and Lux rooted her here. So Lux can basically just walk away because Diana can never catch her. Yeah, but we are level 6, she's level 5 because she lost all those minions. She's also low mana, and we have also full HP. So if we're both just staying in the lane and we're both full HP, that's good for the mage. That's bad for the assassin. The assassin needs to run around and get kills, otherwise they fall behind in the late game. Mages scale better in the late game than assassins, unless assassins get a lot of kills. So if Diana doesn't get kills, that's good for us. Her jump also has a really long cooldown, so yeah. So here, what we're doing is spell baiting. We're trying to walk into her Q range, trying to make her use it, and then like running back out. So we walk like in a little bit and then out. So it's like barely walking outside the Q range, trying to make her use Q. Let's use Q. Now she's not scary anymore. Now we can go on her. because the Q is on cooldown. She could save it, yeah, but there's no reason to save it. So here, Diana used her Q, that's her damage ability. She wants to push the wave. Now she's not dangerous anymore. So now Lux doesn't have to save her Q to stay alive. She can use it to kill Diana now. When Diana uses her spells, she's not scary anymore. So she has to hit these minions to get the gold. And when she's doing that, Lux is going to make sure she hits the Q because she knows where Diana's going to be. So bam. Okay, she could do that, but that's actually very little damage because there's no Q. No, it doesn't. But the ultimate doesn't do that much damage unless she's fed. So Diana really wants to, if she's going to jump in, she wants to hit with Q to get extra damage. Because the jump itself does a little bit of damage, not very much. The ult does okay damage, but it's a really long cooldown, so you want to make sure you use it at an important time. So she could jump on Lux, she could use ult, and she would take maybe a third of Lux's health. But then she used everything. Everything is on cooldown, and Lux can root her, because she's in melee range, she's very easy to hit with root, and Lux can do the full combo on her. And then Diana is going to lose half her health. So this is like part of like thinking about the cooldowns. So when she uses the spells on the wave, she's not scary anymore, and we can just go hit her. Right? Look how much life she lost. And now we have such a big HP advantage that we could even keep going on her if we wanted to. And if we fight to the death, we're probably going to win here, right? But we just used our spell, so we're on cooldown. So we want to kind of like, and she's getting her cooldowns back, so we want to be a little bit safe there. So now Diana has to recall. We can push a wave for free. And then we can recall, and then we come back having spent more gold than her. She got a kill earlier, so she has about the same items, but this is still fine for us. So she pushes another wave. She gets the push because she came back to lane first, so she can go roam or something. So this is where we want to ping our bot lane that they're in danger. Except that they're actually basing right now, so it doesn't matter. So they're safe right now. So then we get to clear this wave. And then, okay, so Diana goes to kill our jungler here. So she couldn't go bot lane because bot lane was safe. So she goes to kill our jungler, and then it just turns into a 1v2 here. Should be pretty bad for Diana. We just kill her. Yeah, but the drakes are not that important, especially in lower elo. It's not what changes the game. What changes the game in like Iron is who makes the most mistakes and steps up and then Lux roots them and kills them instantly. Like we do want to think about dragons because once we get up into higher ranks, that's gonna become important. But the first dragon, especially, is actually not very important. It's a little bit of a waste of the jungler's time to actually kill the first dragon. Because it's better to just clear camps and get XP. Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of like high level junglers and challenger and stuff will actually not take the dragon on purpose because it takes too long and you lose a lot of like speed for clearing your camps and ganking and stuff. It just takes too long, the first dragon. Once you have more items, you can kill them faster and it's not a big deal. But yeah, the first dragon is not important. Killing Diana there and getting that gold and that control over the lane is way more important. So we put a ward here. Why do you think we put a ward here? Yeah. So if Diana pushes the waves, and we want to know if she's going top or bottom, right? Yeah. So here, Diana, she has all her spells right now. She has ult and everything. She actually doesn't have ult. She used it on our jungler. But we even without ult, we want to be a little bit careful here. And so we're playing back a little bit to our tower, right? And she uses her spells. Now she's not scary anymore. So one thing Lux can do is to just ult the wave, which is what she did here. That can sometimes be good, but that's like a more advanced thing. But yeah, she used all her spell, and we are a ranged character, so she's not that scary. And I guess because she already used it, I'm guessing. Let's go back and have a look. So look. Yeah, right now she can't dash because she's gonna get hit by the turret. And Lux knows this. So she even gets hit on the turret anyway, but Lux misses a spell. Then we kind of walk up, and the reason we walk up, yeah, she can. Okay, it's because Lux has her Q. So she can jump in, and she doesn't have ult, but she can jump in and do half of Lux's health here. But then Lux is gonna root her, she's gonna run under her tower, and she's gonna hit Diana back. And then Lux is gonna be half HP, and Diana is gonna be 20% HP. Yeah, and also we have an ally nearby. So if Diana uses her jump, she cannot get away. That's one of the disadvantages of Diana. Like Fizz can get away, he can just jump out with the E, right? But Diana can never get away. So here Diana is always dead. She has no way to escape except for flash. She does a flash, so we'll see if she manages to flash, but yeah. She can never escape. That's like the big weakness of Diana. If she goes in, she cannot get out. So she's actually really weak to ganks. Like, she doesn't have any spells that lets her get out. She doesn't have anything that gives her movement speed or anything like that. She can't even stun people. Yeah, she can only all in. But if Lux gets ganked, what can she do? She never used it there, but she can root people, right? Oh, she saved her root for... Now she roots. Okay, yeah. But that's how Lux can survive ganks, is by rooting. So Lux was actually baiting here. She was trying to pretend to be weak to make Echo use all her stuff. Yeah. But that's because you don't play enough Echo. You need to play the same champion a lot to learn it, right? And get good at it. Yeah, that is a tough matchup. Like mages can play against anything. But assassins, they have a hard time against like strong characters like Renekton and all those the big top laners and stuff like Volibear as well. Assassins have some bad matchups. But mages can play into anything. Mages do not have bad matchups. So here, Lux's ultimate is so low cooldown, so she can just use to clear wave sometimes. This gives her a lot of time, because she didn't have to spend the extra time to kill her with wave. And that kind of gives her time to do whatever she wants. So here she goes bot lane for whatever reason. We can't see what she's looking at. But she actually has a ward on the enemy jungler, and she goes kills the enemy jungler here. Boom. Lux has a lot of burst damage. And the reason she's now starting roaming is because she has her full item. That's when she's really strong, right? When you finish an item. Diana hasn't finished her item yet, so Lux is actually relatively stronger. Diana is still an assassin, so we still want to respect her, because she can do a lot of burst damage. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so here, we come back to lane. Diana is down 1 level, and we have a better item than her. So she's actually not that scary. She misses her Q. Now what? What do we do? Yeah. We could do that. If we want to go back to base and spend our gold, that would be a good choice. But we can also just attack her, because she's not dangerous anymore. Yeah. So when the assassin uses their spells, generally they're not scary anymore. Right? Until the spells come back from cooldown. Yeah. Sure. And like if there's a champion you have trouble with, like just go read their abilities. That can do a lot. Or even go play a normal game with that character. It's also fine. Yeah, if you go play a normal game as Diana, for example, you will feel that she cannot never escape. And once you use your spells, you're feeling really weak. Yeah. Yeah. So let's look at another example. Let's look at Hwei versus Set, for example. This is again a mage versus an assassin, so a lot of the same stuff applies. Well, what happens before level 6? That's kind of important. So level 1, the range character is always stronger. Because you can hit your auto attack, he cannot hit yours. So we push and we try to hit Set. We don't have to be scared of him level 1. We're stronger. And when we push, who gets level 2 first? We get level 2 first, yeah. So when do you remember when we get level 2? I understand if you don't remember, but do you remember when we get level 2? Yes, exactly. So we want to kill this really fast, actually. So he's hitting this one minion. Please, die fast, die fast, die fast. There, now we get level 2. Now we are way stronger than Set. Set is going to get level 2 with this minion away, so we want to think about that as well. So he got level 2. We didn't really find a window. But even level 2, we're still stronger than Set. And we're still pushing, so the minions are going to defend us if he does anything. So what Hwei is doing here, he's pushing. He's still pushing, but he's pushing very, very, very slowly. Because if you push too fast here, the minions go on the tower, and then it's Set turns to push. But if we slow down the push as much as we can have our push advantage for a long, long time. So now Set used his Q. We can go in and poke him a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. He used his spell, so he's not scary right there. And then once he gets his Q back, we fall back a little bit. And we're level 3 now. He's level 2. We're way stronger. But once Set gets level 3, that's when the melee champions are scary. So we want to crash this wave right before he gets level 3. And now he got level 3. Now he's scary. He just used a spell, so that's why we could walk up a little bit here. But now Set is the scary one. Let's see what happens. Set, okay, so we can still be a little bit aggressive here because he has to focus on killing the minions. Once the minions die, he has more free time to do aggressive stuff. Something is happening in the jungle. We really don't want to spend too much time on this. But because we had the push, we could move in first, but it was under control, so we don't need to do anything more. But now Set is pushing. And he's level 3. So we gotta be really scared here. He used the shield really well to block a lot of the damage, but now we're playing scared. If we die now, we lose this cannon, and we're gonna lose the next wave as well. So we really cannot die. So we're sitting back, we're playing safe. If we get some free damage on Set, that's fine. Oh, Set uses his W, and his Q does some damage to us, but now he just used his spells. We can be a little bit scared of this shadow, because you can jump to it, right? So once the shadow is gone, boom. Now he has no spells left. He has Q, but he doesn't have his W. And his W is actually like a 20-second cooldown. 20 seconds. He used W right away. Here. Sorry, the W is the shadow, yeah. He used E right away. So he uses shadow, and then E. You see this circle? This is the E. He cannot use E again. It's a long cooldown. It's too long cooldown to do that. You can only do E once. But now he's going to use Q. So both him and the ghost cast the shuriken. So we just want to dodge that. So Hwei is gonna try and dodge that to the best of his ability. Like he's walking back and forth to try and dodge it. He gets hit by one, but not the other. And then because the Q is one spell, he only hit Hwei twice. So you cannot use the same spell to do 2 hits. So even if both of the Qs hit, it's... Actually, I think it counts as 2, yeah. So he only hits with the E and he hit with 1 Q. So that's not electrocute, right? You need 3 spells. So if both the Qs had hit, then he would have hit electrocute. Yeah. So that's also why it was so important for Hwei to dodge that. And he dodged one of them, so that was good. And now the Shadow's gone. He has 20-second cooldown on the W. He cannot dash forward or backwards. So he can maybe throw 1 Q at us, but that doesn't do very much damage. But we can hit him with our entire spells here. So we try to push the wave a little bit so it doesn't get too big. Yeah, now we gotta, when the minions are on the tower, we want to focus on killing the minions. Yeah. And Set still doesn't have his W. It's still on cooldown here. So he's not that scary. Okay, it came up. It came up. Sorry, I timed it wrong. It came back. But yeah, now he's scary. Now Hwei just really wants to dodge. He gets hit, but that was still 2 spells because he didn't get hit by the E. So no electrocute. And now we gotta... Once the Shadow's gone, again, we have 20 seconds now. Or we have 17 seconds until his W is back. So we don't have to be that scared right now. But in like 10 seconds, we have to be scared. So we want to try and push the wave if we can. No, he's not. Look at this. We cleared the wave with 2 QEs. And now we can just recall and we're not going to lose anything. Right? And Set cannot recall right now. We get to recall first. Okay, let's see what happens level 6. Let's see. So Hwei can push the wave way faster than he can. So we gotta be careful about him jumping on us. But, yeah. Let's see here. We use the QE on the wave. We try to hit him as well, but he uses his W to dodge. So now he cannot jump on us. Now he's not very scary. We can walk up. We just gotta clear the minion wave. Blah, blah, blah. And then Set went away. So maybe he's roaming. Maybe he went to base. What do you think Set did here, since he's not here anymore? No, that's not true. Look at his items. We got to base first, because we pushed the minion wave first. And then we got to better item. And Set didn't get any items yet. So we have a big advantage here. We're way stronger than him, because we have a big item. We have 800 gold with item he doesn't have. And then, because he has to base to get his own item, we can get to the push on the next wave first. But when he comes back, he's going to have spent even more gold than us. He has a 875 gold item plus a refillable, which is 150 gold. So now he has better items. And he's getting kind of close to level 6. Around like 5 to 530 is when you get level 6. Now we want to be scared. So I can tell you what Set's plan here is. He wants to use his like WQE to get you low HP. And then next time he has cooldowns, he wants to all-in you with ult, yeah. So we really want to avoid that. So we are actually playing really safe here. So we walk up just to QE the wave. If we can push it, that means he can't go on us very easily. But we want to be very scared here, very scared. We get level 6 first. Okay, we have an advantage now. Because he lost a wave on the tower, we actually have a window here where we are a little bit stronger. But we don't know exactly when he's going to get level 6. He got it there. So he used the shuriken there, he used the Q, and Hwei didn't wait for the shadow to disappear this time before he goes in. So now Set can jump on it. He can do some damage here, but he doesn't have W, so he doesn't get like the double spells, right? So he's not that scary here. He's a little bit scary, but let's see what happens. Yeah, it's not that much damage, right? But Hwei is a mage, and he can do a lot of damage. He can do a lot of damage, because he has all of his spells ready. And luckily we timed it, like right as our support came to help. But even if the support hadn't come here, right? Fresh does basically no damage here, right? Look at all this damage. Like all of this damage is basically ours. And Set Fresh did a little bit. right? So Zed went in without his W, his most important cooldown, and he just lost the trade. So because Thresh is here, we get the kill. Without Thresh, we probably wouldn't have killed him, but he would have been very low. And we can start. Then we can start using QW to try to finish him off, right, from range. Because when they're low HP, QW does a lot of damage. So he died, so we get to push the wave for free. And then we have a lot of gold now that we want to go home and spell. It was actually Thresh who got the kill, so that's unfortunate. So we don't have as much gold as we hope. But after we get the kill, you always want to like push and then reset if you can. And this is how it goes for every single mage versus assassin. Doesn't matter what mage, it doesn't matter what assassin. It's just about like pushing level 1 and 2, and then being scared of him level 3. And then try to use your push advantage to get a recall where you can spend more gold on him, and then you're stronger when you come back. And then you really play around his cooldowns. Does that make sense? Yeah. So these are the things I want you to focus on. And we could look at your like mid game and stuff, and your macro to look at what that looks like. But I think actually just getting really focusing on the early laning phase here is important. Yeah. So what I want you to do is just like to watch some logs guides, okay? Preferably, this one is actually really good. I think maybe it's too advanced. Yeah, you can. This is good. It's a little bit old, but this is exactly what we're looking for. A medium length video that's for beginners. Yeah. So yeah. So I'm gonna give you some homework, some stuff to watch. Okay. I'm gonna give you some stuff to practice. So we can just write down some notes here. Yeah. Yes. So this is this push levels 1 and 2 and try to get the HP low. This is true against every character. So if it's a melee champion, that's assassin, then play safe when they are level 3, and then attack the enemy when they don't have their cooldowns, and try to hit them with spells when they go to last hit a minion. And yeah, this will be your homework, okay? Can you read this text here? I'll actually just post it in the chat. Oh, I'm missing